outside the laundromat doing some of that. Figure while I'm waiting for that, I can crack out a video. I was in someone's live chat last night, and the conversation made its way to dating, and it triggered memory. Quite a few years back. I'm not going to say how long. It was quite a few years back, but I went on a binge. At that time, I joined a dating website, and the website covered the metro area, which is a pretty large area. So I went on a binge of doing that, and in retrospect, it's pretty funny. I went on about 9 dates or so. To me, that's binging within a 3-month period. And more than half were weird, just odd, weird. I'm going to describe a couple of them. Like one, and at that time they only had like a profile pic, or they could load other pictures, but some only had like 1 pic or 2 pics. And overall, just saying, picture wasn't current, or it didn't even hardly resemble the person that I was meeting. So the first one, I mean, she was in Amazon. That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. I like that. Met at a restaurant, sitting there talking, and she had this weird tick about her. She, asked questions of one another. And I would ask a question or whatever. She would, first reaction, she kind of do this. And you could tell she does. I mean, you could see the wrinkles had already formed how she responded like that. And that was just the first, whatever. So we're getting through, going through dinner, and it just weird, out of the blue, I want to have a baby right now. I want to have a baby now. I mean, she mentioned like 3 times. I just met this lady, you know what I mean? And it seemed weird, okay, but she was physically attractive. After dinner, I was going to call it a night, but she just met her. She invites me to her place, right? She had 2 other roommates, 3 ladies, just whatever. We get there, nothing happened. It just felt weird. I didn't feel comfortable. You never know who's going to pop up, or what the situation was, what she's involved in. Watched the Big Fat Greek Wedding, and it was just, the Greek, she desperate, she's seen it many times. She wanted to watch it again. It just, whatever. That's fine. Never called her back. Another one, agreed to have dinner, or was it lunch? I think it might have been lunch. And I knew the place, and I go there every great once in a while. And show up there, and she's already there. And I was a little bit early, but she must have been really early. And did not look like the photo. And I'm going to sound shallow here a little bit, but I'm being truthful, right? Looked like she'd been on a binge of meth. Face all sunken in, not like in a supermodel way. Bad. She looked bad. I figured, well, I'm obligated. I asked her, whatever. She showed up. So we had lunch. And the whole time I'm sitting there, it's so bad. Some people are going to take this wrong. It was so bad that I was a little bit panicked, because I didn't want anybody to see me there with her. It was that startling. And then basically she's telling me about, she had a small child, 5 or 6 years old at that time, and she worked. I can't remember what she did, but she did work. But she had a weird living arrangement. It wasn't a husband, it was a boyfriend. I think the father of the child, they still live together, but it's just a weird, thinking, what the fuck? Get yourself, straightened out before you, whatever. Okay, next. Had good interaction with another one. She was a speech therapist. So she's educated, she's in a stable job. Okay, good. And she worked out. And so, yeah, we're going to meet. It was an Indian restaurant this time. I don't really care for Indian food, but she picked it, and that's fine. I got there early. Now, she shows up, and no, scratch that. That's not right. That's not correct. She was there first. I showed up, and you come through the door, and you scan. You're scanning. Okay, single woman at a table. That whatever. I didn't recognize her. She just had her hair different and whatever, and she started waving at me and she was a little upset that I didn't recognize her at first, and I apologized, whatever. Close to the restaurant, there was a mall park type thing you can walk around. So we're walking around after, and conversation. I can't remember what it was, but I must have said something she didn't like or whatever. She got real quiet. One word answers back and forth. Okay, that's fine. I'm gonna wrap this up. Go back. That one was over. That one wasn't too weird. It was just we interacted really well, texting back and forth. But the actual didn't go so well, and that's fine. Had another one. She was half Korean. She managed several optometry locations, optical place, I should say, glasses. Okay. Anyway, so I'm thinking, okay, she manages. Okay, it's a responsibility. So we agreed to meet at another restaurant. That's not, most of these were restaurants, and I was running a little late. And of course, something was going on in that area. All the parking was taken up, so I had to park quite a ways away, and left my phone in the car. That was a mistake. So I get to the restaurant. Like I said, I'm 10 minutes late, and I wait like 45 minutes. So I go back to the car, get the phone. Now, do I take, a lot of things go through your mind. Do you take the hint, whatever. So I said, fuck it. I'm just going to be thorough here. I call her, and without even hardly saying a couple words, she's mad at me because she assumed that I seen her at the restaurant and just walked by and didn't want to go on the date with her, And I explained to her, no, that's not the case. I actually even bought her a candle, a large candle, had sunflowers in it. It was really pretty. I actually thought about keeping it myself. I explained to her what had happened, whatever, and so she, oh my God, she apologized, whatever. No, let's just, start fresh, And I said, well, it's still early. We can still go get something to eat. And she agreed to that. I told her where my car was parked. Okay, she came and picked me up. Now, and she wanted to go a different, whatever. It's 2 miles away or so. And I'm thinking, okay. And, I'm worried about if this doesn't go well, am I walking back to my car? But anyway, get there. Of course, you do the filling each other out. And she made one comment that kind of stunned me a little bit. And she asked me, have I or do I beat women? I mean, it seemed kind of like out of the blue kind of question. And I said, no, not at all. And which got me to thinking, is this what you're used to? And okay. So it was a little uneasy, and we finished dinner. I was real polite about it because I want to make sure I get her right back to my car. So it was the very next day, she calls me. And she said she enjoyed it, and or whatever. And she wanted me to come over to her apartment. Look, I must be old school or whatever. If you're gonna mess around with somebody or whatever like that, you don't go to your own place right when you first meet. Go to a hotel or whatever. But she wanted me to come over her place and whatever. And I'm thinking, no, thank you. So I backed out of that one. There was a couple good ones, but honestly, I wasn't really looking for any kind of a relationship. I just wanted somebody to go to do activities and go to new events. new openings, what have you. And there's some other ones. Like nowadays, I couldn't even imagine dating now. Of course, you know, I come up in a world that doesn't exist anymore, or it's quickly fading away. Now you know, you watch news stories and stuff. People are nuts, man. I mean, maybe they've always been nuts, but to me, it seems like it's on another level. But anyway, it just triggered a memory. You know, retrospect, thinking back, you laugh about it, but at the time, it's like, you know, it was fun. Overall, it was fun. Nobody got hurt. Nobody's feelings, well, nobody got hurt.